And we're live.
We are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Simply Simple Stamping.
Good morning.
Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
Brenda is here all the way from Idaho. She
All
is
the way.
my most amazing moderator who takes good care of me and takes good care of you, answering your questions, getting measurements, and all that good stuff. She's the one that kind of does all the magic in the background. So
that's me. I'm the magician.
you are, and I'm the magician's assistant. Only chubby.
Well, let's not go there.
We just not go there?
Oh gosh. So this morning I was reading on your team page.
Yes.
Because I'm on your team.
Yeah.
You had posted asking us for share your attitude of gratitude. You do this every Thursday.
Yes, I do.
And last one really made me think, but this one was look around and list 5 things that help you in your day-to-day life. And I was just like, things that help me in my day-to-day life. So instead of like answering really quickly, I was getting ready this morning and I was like, okay, what helps me? Well, having running water was pretty handy.
Yeah.
And a coffee pot was nice. That toothbrush couldn't be beat. A roof over my head. And then I got to thinking about all the servants I have in my house. I've got a dishwasher. I've got a dryer.
Gotcha.
I've got a washer. I've got a vacuum. I've got a freezer. I've got all these servants. I'm like, there's a lot of things that help me in my day. And it's barely 10 o'clock. So I thought I'm going to make a list all day to see everything that helps me through my day.
That would be a long list.
Probably more than 5 things. I'm just going to tell you.
Well, and I'd have to say, my computer, because how I can communicate with so many people.
With all these people? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it still boggles my mind that there was a time, I remember I was fresh out of high school and my first job, my computer and at my office that I worked at was this ginormous thing. And now I can hold it in my hand.
Yep. Do you remember when we first started, like with it being able to chat online?
Oh, yes.
And I remember when you and I lived like 4 miles apart. And we would sit there for hours on AOL. You've got mail.
With that awful startup sound. And
yes.
Well, we hope you guys have enjoyed our little blast from the past. It's funny though, Brenda, because you were talking about, I promise we're going to get to stamping. We just like to give everyone a chance to get on live. But I cannot help but think with the crazy weather that we've been having. And by the way, I'm going to rabbit trail for a second. I live in Oklahoma. Thank you all so much for all of your emails and your text messages, everything. You guys have been messaging me asking if we were okay. Obviously, we're here. We're okay. It was a crazy night. I think they counted like 16 tornadoes across the state. And if you're not familiar with tornadoes, they have a path. And it's a fairly narrow path, but they can follow exactly where it's going to go. We do have a shelter. We did not have to take shelter, but it came awfully close to, I have a daughter who was in Norman, Oklahoma. My other daughter was visiting friends in Shawnee, Oklahoma. They had to take shelter because it was too close. And Jenny had no clue how close it was until she saw the damage and realized it was just 2 or 3 miles away. Little too close for this mama. Probably good. I didn't know exactly where. And, when they're at night, it's just so hard for them to see them. They can't. Anyway, thank you all for asking. But
this is why I live where the cold hurts my face, because I'll take that any day.
I know, but everyone has to understand with tornadoes, you know in advance it's going to come, or it could come. You can see right where it's going and whether or not you need to take shelter. But anyway, we've learned to we just kick back, relax. We did gather up some stuff just to be safe. But okay, well, I've yapped long enough. How about we stamp?
How about we stamp? How about we put the right person up on the screen?
I saw that. I was like, okay, Brenda, you stamp this time.
That'd be good. Stamp and answer questions.
Well, welcome, everybody. I am so excited to share the cards with you today. Thanks for letting Brenda and I just do our little chit chat there. We are going to create 2 different latch cards. Now, can I just brag on myself a little bit. I came up with this idea. I was playing around and I said, oh, I wonder if this will work. And it did. I get excited when things like that happen. Let me show you the latch card so I can kind of explain. So I was playing around with my very best trio punch. Okay. It's got 3 different punches on each triangle. There's a punch. And I was playing with it. And of course, I'm like, oh, look at these cute little borders. But it had a little slit here that you can put ribbon through and different things. And I thought, I wonder if I could make a little latch. And guess what? I can. I was able to create this fun little latch card. Again, it's a little bit different, right? We like different. You can see it just kind of slides right in there. This one here, okay, I'm gonna tell on myself with this one because I tried something that did not work. I try it so you won't make the same mistake. So when I did this one, I made it and I thought, oh, Connie, I wonder if yes.
Connie.
Yes.
Your mic is cutting out.
My mic is cutting out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to try something. Okay. Is that better? Let's try that. Brent, unmute yourself and let me know if that's working. Right
now it is. Yep.
Okay. Who knows, guys? Anyway, so what I was telling you is I thought, oh, I wonder if I just cut this out and if it would just slide under. It doesn't. Don't do that. That did not work. Not successful. Look, see, well, I guess you could call it that. It still works, but it's not what I wanted. So don't attempt what I did. So I make mistakes so you don't have to. So you can see we have 2 different versions of the card. We have one going portrait and one going landscape. Bren, is my mic working better now? Please let me know.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good. Maybe it was just a little fluky thing. So we're going to be creating both cards today. And so we're going to start with this one. Guys, I am so excited to teach this because it is super easy. Now, like I said, you are going to want to have the very best trio punch in order to do this. But hopefully you'll get it because this is an awesome punch. I've used it a lot. By the way, if you need the measurements, Brenda's going to be putting them on the screen, but I've also got a download for you. So you'll have all the measurements, the pictures. You might need to come back and watch the video again because there's some tips and tricks that I'm sharing and you might need to come back. You can either scan the QR code or you can just click on that and it'll take you back. And of course, if you want to order any of the supplies I used, you can click right there. And my friends, I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Free download. You can get it at simplysimplestamping.com or look down in the YouTube description. There is a direct link to the free download. I'd love for you to have that. All right, we're going to go over the supplies just so you kind of know what we're using here. I'm going to be using some pale papaya. I have a piece that is 3 1/4 by 8 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. 3 1/4 by 8 1/2. So a little bit different. This is a quarter sheet, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Those are both pale papaya. Then I'm going to bring in some pumpkin pie as kind of a background piece. This is a 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then I'm going to bring in some designer series paper. Guys, this is I got to look at it, Regency Park designer series paper. So that's the other side, which is pretty too, but I really like this polka dot because I'm a polka dot girl. This is a 3 by 4. We're also going to need a piece of basic white. That is a 3 by 4 as well. And then this is the latch. It is a little piece of scrap, but I would say get yourself a piece that is 1 inch by at least 2 inches. We need something to hold on to because we'll end up cutting it, but I want you to have enough that you can run it through the punch. So 1 inch by 2 inch, and we're good to go. All right, you guys ready to start? We are going to start with that pale papaya, okay? So, of course, I have scored that, and I have folded it. I'm going to bring my punch in, and I want you guys to see what I did. I put a rhinestone right here. There's a reason for this. You have to punch this. This isn't the same on both sides. So I can't just punch willy-nilly and go all over the place. It kind of has 2 different styles. So what I've done is I put this dot here to tell me, put this towards me. Okay, I want that towards me. So that's my little tip for what it's worth. I have got my cardstock folded And I'm going to slide it into my punch. There's there's 2 little notches in there that kind of tell you you've gone in as far as you need to go. We're going to give that a punch. Yes, I am punching through 2 layers. Now I'm going to flip it over. This is important. You got to flip it over and punch again so that these are the same on both sides. If I had flipped it this way, does that make sense? I mean, we got to make sure we're doing it the same on all sides. So now I'm going to flip it over. Now, can I just be honest with you? If you didn't get it just right, don't stress over it. In fact, I'll even show you on my card. I'm going to show you. Do you see how it's rounded here? And it's not here? See, you don't even notice it. So don't worry. Look, I did the same thing here. That's when I realized, oh, wait a minute, this punch is not the same on both sides. If you don't get it right, I promise you, no one's really going to notice it. But just make sure you're always flipping and you're going to be good. So round, 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 round. Okay? I'm going to set this over here for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my designer series paper. And I'm going to do that exact same thing. So in and flip it over. Oh, get it in there. Okay, let's do that again. Here and here. Again, that's why I put that little dot on there. Let me get my trash out of the way. All right, and that you can see is going to be able to adhere perfectly onto our cardstock. We are all good to go. All right, I don't want to adhere it yet though, because we are going to do some stamping and some embossing. So did you notice my embossed image here? First of all, shiny. We like shiny. And what I've done with this, I've got a great trick to share with you on how you can stamp and emboss in any Stampin' Up! Color. It is true. So here's what we're going to do. And this is one you'd want to be prepared and ready. I'm going to be using the clear embossing powder. So let me move the other 2 that come in that kit out of the way. I am going to need my brush and my embossing buddy. I'm going to run the embossing buddy over that designer series paper so that I'm sure it's prepped and ready to go. My stamp set for both cards actually is Covered in Sunshine. It's a great big sentiment stamps. I like great big sentiments because it means I have a little less to do so I can do it pretty quickly. We're going to go with this one. May the road ahead be brighter. Now with this technique, again, clear embossing powder, I want that open, ready to go because we are going to want to move quickly. All right. But this is a great technique. Let's see. Debbie's here. She says she was born in Dallas and she married her hubby in the colony. I know where the colony is in Texas. And you've been in Arizona for 21 years. Boy, I'll tell you what, wouldn't mind being in Arizona right now. Looking forward to some summer around here. All right, I'm going to ink that up, and I want to make sure everything is well inked. Now, here we go. This is where I said we're going to work fast. We're going to stamp that, give it a really good press. It's a big stamp, so we want to make sure that's well inked, and very quickly, we get our embossing powder on there. It stays wet enough, just long enough that I can get that embossing powder onto my stamp now, or onto my paper. I'm going to heat up my heat tool. Yeah, that's what it's called. Let me close this up while that's heating up. I like to heat up my heat tool for about 30 seconds and let it start to get warm. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to melt that embossing powder when it's started to get warm. I'm going to start running this. Let me put it where you guys can see it. Surprise, can't see anything. Okay. And I keep my heat tool a good 4 inches or so away from the paper because I don't want it to warp. Now, if it does, of course, I'm going to be adhering this down. I'm not too worried. You can even get underneath. Kind of helps balance out the heat going on that paper. There we go. We're starting to melt. Do you see it? Isn't that an awesome way to get embossed colors? So all you need is clear embossing powder and a Stampin' Up! Ink pad. Beautiful. Now you know it's done when everything has gone shiny, and that is all shiny. I'm very happy with that. All right. We're looking good. Okay, so I wanted to do one more thing to this. I'm going to bring in, if I can reach it, some grid paper just in case I go off of this a little bit. I got to tell you, I think I can't remember if I did this in pumpkin pie or pale papaya. You know what? Let's start with a lighter color, and then I'll know which one I did. So I'm going to use a blending brush, and I'm just going to kind of tap it there on my ink pad. I'm going to get some of that off of there. I'm looking at it. I can tell right now I did this in pumpkin pie, not pale papaya. Okay, let's try that again. Pumpkin pie. So we'll ink that up. I want to get some of that off of there. That's a little too bright because I want this to be nice and soft. I'm going to start here in the middle. And this is just going to kind of give just a highlight behind my sentiment. What do you guys think? Are you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you guys do a lot of heat embossing? Is it one of those? Is it intimidating? I know for some people, they get a little nervous about it. I think heat embossing it's just magical. It just to be able to take that, give that wonderful shine. I love it. Okay, so we have done that. And my friends, I kind of think it's time. Now let's go ahead and do one more bit of stamping since we have this out. First I have to look because I can't remember. Yes, I need to punch. I missed punching a piece. So you get to watch me do it one more time. Holly, is that you? You like heat embossing? It's a great way to add bling without being too over the top. You're absolutely right. Katie says, can you use your Stamparatus and first stamp in the color, then use the embossing powder? Absolutely, you can. That is going to help ensure that everything gets well inked and stays wet. But I honestly, I'm just going to tell you, I find if I just make sure I'm ready to go, my jar is open, I've set and ready, I've never had a problem. So, all right, I wanted to add just something to the inside of this card. And I got to tell you, you use whatever stamp you want. I'm using the, let's see if I can pronounce this, Ginkgo branch. But, you know, whatever makes you happy. I just wanted to add a little flower down there. This one is kind of one of those, it's kind of a distinctive stamp. See how it kind of leaves detail behind? So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to go ahead and start putting stuff together here. And just some adhesive for the inside. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Carolyn said, oh, let's put it on right side up. See, I cannot read comments and stamp at the same time. Carolyn, love heat embossing, the biggest wow. I know, it really is. I'm going to now add my sentiment that I just embossed. My biggest wow, just for Carolyn. We're going to put that right here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to add this to my pumpkin pie. Do you see how that pumpkin pie really makes this color pop, especially when I use that pumpkin pie ink? Center that up. And this, again, was just a quarter sheet. So the other nice thing with this card is that it's not too heavy. So it's going to be an easy one to mail. All right, we're going to put all that together. I want to make sure I'm getting it straight. There we go. All right, it's time for some magic with the punch again. This is how we're going to create the latch. So remember, there's my little dot telling me which way I want this to go. I'm going to push it in all the way over to the left. So there's one punch. I'm going to flip it around, put it back in there, and get it again. And look at that. There's my latch. Oh, wait, and then we're going to get our latch here on our card as well. Now, I got to tell you, you can do this however you want. You could eyeball it. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, let's see, this is 2 inches. All right. Where's my pen? So I know it's overkill. It's just a Connie thing. No, I'm sorry. It's a little bit about 2 1/8. So I'm going to just make myself a little mark about right here. And you know what? I just realized something. And you know, sometimes when I make mistakes, it's my happiest moment because then I can tell you, don't do this. Do you see I did not get adhesive down here? I need adhesive down here. That is important. I'm going to just put myself some adhesive. So I should have put adhesive all the way around this, especially at the bottom. And I'll tell you why. Because it's going to get that little lip right there. And I want to make sure that's adhered down. So I can see I've got myself a little tick mark. Again, I promise you, you could, you know what? I probably didn't even need to do that. I think I could have just centered it up right inside my punch, push it in as far as it'll go. And we'll give that a punch. There is our little notch. Now it's a little short to fit this, okay? You won't fit. So what I'm going to do, now that I've got the one punched, and I can see, can you guys see? I can see exactly what's going on there. I'm going to come over a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, and that's going to stretch that out for me perfectly. And now I want to test before I put it together. Yep, my notch is going to fit inside my little latch very easily. So here's how we're going to adhere this. Let me grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, you know, sometimes when I make these cards so far in advance, I forget what I'm doing. All right, I'm going to put dimensionals. I want to make sure I'm not going off. Yep, I'm good. You know what? I can even just set that right in there. Look at that. Gives me a visual. Do you see how I'm just putting dimensionals here? I don't want them kind of going up above anything, but that's going to give me the lift that's going to make putting this together so much easier. And of course, it's always when I'm live that I'm questioning, could I get one more in there? No, I can't. Okay. We're going to slide our latch in. You're going to bring it straight down on those dimensionals. Yes, it's too long. And we're going to trim this down. Brenda says she's going to make this card today. I'm so glad. Yeah, if you have this punch, and boy, if you haven't, you're going to want to get it. It's a fantastic punch. So we've done that. I'm going to dress it up a little bit because I need just a little bit more. So I wanted to bring in this faux velvet. Is it faux velvet? I got to remember. Is it faux velvet? Yeah. Velvet, suede, it's the same to me. So I wanted to verify. Now it's beautiful ribbon, really soft, but it's not as pretty on one side. The velvet is on this side. So I thought I'd take the time to show you my trick, how to tie double-sided or ribbon that isn't double-sided. So I'm going to start to make myself a knot. Okay. So, just tying it over once. Now, if I pull it right now, obviously not what we want. I'm going to give this side a twist. All right, twist it all the way around. So now when I pull, the twist is in my knot. I'm going to give that knot, I want it small. So I'm really going to give it some tug and grab my scissors here off the wall. And we can trim down our tails. So yeah, I wanted you guys to see that because if you try to tie this ribbon, it's not going to look as pretty as you want. We're going to add that right there with a mini glue dot. Oh, Margie says it's so pretty. I'm so glad that you like it. It is such a fun card. All right, we're going to press that down really good. All right, we're getting there. But I decided to bring in, I've had these flower adhesive backed flower trinkets and I haven't used them. And I thought, oh, it's time to bring these in. So I put one right here on the bottom of my latch. And then I thought, let's just dress up these corners. Ooh, these are so pretty. They're so shiny. And of course, that gold I thought just looked beautiful with that pumpkin pie. So that kind of dressed that up a little bit. And now when I send my card, they can pop it open. I have my message in here, of course, and my trinket is crooked. There, okay. Can't have it be crooked. There we go. What do you guys think? Okay, Joe loves the card. I enjoy smaller cards a lot. I know, Joe, if you're like me, I never know what to say. All I can say here is Love you and miss you, Connie. Happy birthday, Connie. Whatever it is I need to say. I kind of prefer those smaller cards too. Okay. I want to go ahead and share with you the other card and some tips because this one's going a different way. I did go ahead and do my embossing. And this one, instead of kind of sticking to the same color scheme, I mixed it up. So I've got some Tahitian Tide. I've got some, what have I got? Polished pink. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and adhere that while we're yapping. Yeah, this one's going to go a little bit different way. So let me find my trio punch and let's get to punching just like we did before. And I'm going to once again attempt to read comments while I punch. Jonah said, you make these cards look so easy. It would take me all day just to make one. You know, if you can just remember, just put a little rhinestone, put a little sticker, whatever you need to do. If you'll just put something right there. And like I said, if you don't get it perfect, don't stress over it. It is not the end of the world. Whoops. Oh, I guess we are going to need both of those. What do you guys think? Can I do them both at the same time? Let's see. We're going to test it out. You just have to remember to always flip. See, now I almost did it. Am I going to get it right? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Did I get it right? No, I didn't. Yay, Connie messed up. But like I said, I'm really not worried about it. It's not going to mess up things too bad. Okay, so what I did here, let's go ahead. I can go ahead and add this to my card. Guys, I'm trying to move really fast. I know I typically try to keep everything right at 30 minutes, and I want to make sure I can get through it. So I did a little more of that work with my blending brushes. And let me show you what I did here. I used one of the small blending brushes and some Daffodil Delight. This is also from this Covered in Sunshine, and there's my little sunshine. So we're going to, oh, by the way, I embossed this in black because remember, when you get the clear, the white, and the black, it all comes as one. So you should have that one. If you have the clear or the white, you're ready to go. Aren't these blending brushes the greatest thing ever invented? Love them. So that was Daffodil Delight. Now some polished pink. Again, I just want to kind of give that color a little pop, just like I did before. It kind of dabs some of that off. We can add that here. It's just so soft. And of course, that black embossing powder just makes it go wow. Now, I did that with Versamark instead of black ink. Gosh, I'm telling you, it was a sad day today. There was no half and half in the house, and it was scary. My husband comes and he says, I have bad news. There is no more half and half. And I'm like, this cannot be true. I was devastated because I love my half and half, and I can't drink my coffee without it. Okay, one more time with our magic punch, except you know what? I really prefer to do it this way so I can see, but we'll make it a little bit longer on each side. But because it has that little lip right inside, I don't have to worry about it getting crooked or anything. There's that. Now we can do our latch. And that's just a little piece of polished pink. Oh, these names stamping up sometimes. All right. Looking for my Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to do it one more time. These will just sit right here. Perfect. I love that there were two different ways that we could make this card. Because, you know, sometimes you have a sentiment that's going more landscape. Sometimes you have it going more portrait. Center that up. Give it a press. We trim it down. And I'll tell you what, guys, let me show you my finished one. Remember, don't do what I did. Don't cut that off. It does not work. Because what I'm trying to do now is this, and that did not work. Okay, so with this one, I added a little bow here, and then I used those flower trinkets one more time, and I used the silver on those. I just thought it looked really pretty. That is Connie's way of creating a really fun latch card using the very best trio punch. The very best punch, honestly. It really is fantastic. And I hope that just seeing this different way of using that punch encourages you to say, hey, that does a little bit more than just make decorative edges, and it makes it your money go a little bit further. We like things that we can use in many, many different ways, right? Okay, I'll tell you what, before I move on, I do want to show you what we're going to be creating next week, because again, I'm super excited about these cards. You know, we just made some latch cards. So this time, this video, we're going to make matchbook cards. Look at that. So I'm going to be using my designer series paper. I let my designer series paper be the pretty inside. And yeah, I just kind of created, you know, the old matchbooks. Those of you that are of a certain age know exactly what those are. I don't even know if they make them anymore. But we're going to create some very simple matchbook cards. We're going to use the Marigold Moments, hands down my favorite stamp set right now. My apologies if I've used it a lot lately, but it's a favorite. That is what we're going to create next week. So that'll be March 9th. I definitely hope that you guys can join me for that one. It's going to be awesome. Same time, right here, 11 o'clock Central Time here at Simply Simple Stamping on YouTube. Hey, if you like the cards today, you know what I would love? I would love some love. Can you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? It just makes my day. I love seeing what you guys like. And it makes YouTube happy as well. And hey, if you have not subscribed, you want to make sure you get a notification about next week's live, just click the subscribe button. There's even a bell. If you'll ring that bell, that means YouTube will get notifications to you. Guys, I share twice a week here on the channel. I'd love to have you join us. And I'll be back on Tuesday. And then, yeah, back on Thursday, March 9th for our matchbook cards. All right. Have a fantastic day, everybody. I hope that you'll give these cards a try, that you'll create them, send them to a friend. We always want to encourage others. That's what we do best. So have a fabulous day, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.